of a previous story, the traders of Parkyard Market in Kampala were left stranded yesterday after police deployed and blocked anyone from accessing the market. The traders reported for duty as normal, only to find the market sealed off by corrugated iron sheets and guarded by police officers. Let's now speak live to our Solomon Seranja, who joins us from Uganda. Solomon, many thanks for joining us this morning. How is the situation at the Park Market this morning?
Well, it's not a very good morning for the over 10,000 traders who are operating in the Parkyard Market. This is what remains of that market. It was a vibrant market with over 20,000 people moving in and out of the market to buy merchandise ranging from bed sheets, shoes, just to mention but a few. This market is no more, Michelle. Those are the pictures of what a previous market looked like. Now, the decision to have the vendors get out was issued by the Kampala Minister, Betty Olive Kamya, giving the traders an ultimatum of 30 days to get out. But even before the 30 days elapsed, they woke up to a shock yesterday when they had cordoned off the place, heavy security presence, and eventually they had to break down the market, raising it to ground zero as it looks like right now. We can see bulldozers there trying to clear the area. But if we want to understand the details about this market and why it was demolished to this, we're joined by a senior reporter, Samson Kasumba, who has been following this story here in Uganda, to just throw more light on what this means. Michelle, the biggest question is what happens to the over 10,000 vendors who have been operating in this market, many of them starting to operate on the streets, as you can see. Godfrey, if you can just show the viewers right now. Actually, they were operating there, but they have been also chased away this morning. There were some people who had put their merchandise on the street there, but as you can see, they are packing it away. It's a sign of desperation here for the traders who have been operating here, and they are leaving also. But I mean, the city authority has spoken out that in the first place they were here. Look at where they're going to be going next. You've been following this story. Is it something that government has done badly, or was it time that sanity returns to the city, Samson?
Solomon, it's a very complicated one because there are so many facets to this. Because A, there is the very delicate management of Kampala, which now is an authority. You have a Lord Mayor, you have a minister, you have an executive director. Now that's on the one hand. Then again, the ownership of the land, which goes back to a trustee, that is Nachivo War Memorial Stadium Board of Trustees, that is sort of managing this land. And there are also questions about the transparency of the way in which that trustee goes about the whole business of managing of this property. Thankfully, I have grown up in the city. My dad used to park a car exactly where you see that bulldozer when I was going in to watch football matches.
Going on for 30 years. The market has been existent for 30 years. That should have been sorted out like years before it grew to accommodate over 10,000 vendors.
Of course, you want to understand. Now, the question is, now that that has been 30 years and they're traders, there are two things you're going to deal with. If you want a properly managed and planned city, do you keep a market in a parking lot of a stadium? If yes, how are you going to do that? If no, if you are going to relocate the traders, then where? The city management argues that they have built markets, I think funding from World Bank, and those are empty. So these traders should go to those markets that are empty. The traders are saying they don't want to go there. Their buyers will not go there. So they've been talking about relocating them. But then there is the other issue that some are asking. The developer who is going to develop this particular market is the one that has developed that building that some are saying is not iconic enough for Kampala in 2017.
All right, thank you very much, Samson, for that perspective. Well, it's a delicate line here, Michelle, between the development of the city and returning sanity to order, plus the urban poor who have been trying to get a living from this market. And many are asking, where are we going from here? The city maintains, especially from the Kampala, the Kampala Minister, Betty Olive Kamya, that they were given an ultimatum and they were supposed to leave. Meanwhile, there were also contrasting views from the Kampala Lord Mayor, Elias Sukwago, who insists that this decision was made by the Kampala minister herself without consulting the council. And of course, we are keeping an eye on this story as it develops every single second from the capital, Kampala. Michelle.
All right, thank you so much, Solomon Seranja, for putting some context into this developing story. And like he mentions, we'll be bringing you more updates as and when they develop. Now, moving on.